So I got a really fun one for you guys. Um, a long time ago, there was a horror movie called Cube. Now, in Cube, I know as the name might suggest, they literally are in a cube. It's a maze, and they have to go through different corridors, and they have to do different things. The funny thing is, when I think about the genres that were formed, that we got to see being formed as younger people. I remember watching this movie Cube on Sci-Fi Channel about the time that it came out. It went to channels like pretty quick. This was not like some big phenomenon hit. Okay, this was like something that came out and then kind of did the whole straight to video thing. Which, if I don't know how young or old my audience is, but that's just movies that didn't do super well. When we say straight to video, what we mean is that they had to sell somehow, right? So they went straight to video because maybe they'd find their audience on video. Today, that'd just be straight to streaming instead of getting a theater release. Think about it like that. You know, something you probably wouldn't find in your Walmart in the DVDs, or if you did, it'd be in the $5 bin, right? But what I wanted to talk about was, I think about all of the genres that were formed around this time, and I keep thinking about all of these really decent movies that came out. And obviously Cube was not the first. Cube was just one of the first that I remember that had the escape room vibe. But there certainly were, off the top of my head, I can't name them because, again, these are not rehearsed. I'm just riffing. I don't rehearse any of these videos. I don't have a script. I just have a topic I want to talk about. There were some Asian movies that did the whole escape room thing slightly before. I would say 90s. 90s is when I feel like the escape room kind of solved the puzzle and Get Out. Like, you had, look at Netflix's movie called Platform. If you haven't seen that, I'll do a whole video on that one. I love that shit. Cube was one of the first, I feel like, that really went full into it, right? Cube was one of the first, not the first. I just want to clarify because people get really particular. But it also had some actors in it that I thought was really cool. And, you know, I think about, I just think about the movies that we have now, and would they have existed on the same level if we didn't have these kind of like offshoot B movies? Like, would the genre have built itself up? Right? Would the genre have like continued to grow? Because you had stuff like Saw, which really kicked off the whole play a game serial killer kind of way to work out. It was its own puzzle. It was its own puzzle. It didn't have to be strictly a horror movie anymore. It could have a theme. Because I think a lot of, especially in the 90s, if you are younger, we had a ton of really shitty horror movies. And I'm talking about wacko horror movies trying everything they could. They were like bicycles, horror, car, horror, tire, horror, clowns, horror. Like, that's all they did. They just spun a fucking list and they would say normal object plus horror. And that's what we were getting at this time. So this one was obviously Cube plus horror. And they came up with, you know, they're in a room. Now, in this movie, the obstacles change as they're going through it. And I'm not going to ruin it for anybody who wants to go and watch it, because it is free to watch right now. You could pop it open while I'm talking. You could pop it open, and it's already loaded up on Tubi, and you're ready to go. It's totally free, which is fucking incredible, because I'm telling you, a lot of these older stuff that I try to find, you can't find them anywhere. Now, I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Like, I don't get why. Like, if I had a selection of movies or a catalog and I was a studio and I own these properties, I would just put them up anywhere I can and just get revenue from them. But they don't do that, which is weird. It's a super weird thing. But I will say this. This had a pretty unique lineup of people. And one of the people in this lineup is old Julian right here. This dude is amazing. This dude is so amazing, and everything he's in, I've never watched something that I hated from this dude. I remember the first thing that I watched that I really recognized it was him, because this whole wrong turn thing, right? He's in makeup. I remember the first thing I watched when I was younger that I realized, oh, this guy. And that was Rose Red. And if you haven't seen Rose Red, go ahead and add that to your list. Rose Red is pretty fucking peak. It's not as scary as you would say Netflix had a Haunting at Hill House. It's not that scary, but it's on the level, and it's basically the same concepts. It's basically the same kind of horror tropes that they introduce in that. And if you like that movie, you or that show, you really will like Rose Red. This dude's fucking awesome. I cannot tell you enough. If you want to see some of his movies, I just pop it open and go down the IMDb list. That's what I do sometimes with actors that I really care about. But one really impressive dude that was in Cube was this guy. And for you golden oldies out there, this is the dude from Stargate Atlantis. But this was like one of his, like, I wouldn't say, obviously he had roles before that. Oh, well, I can see right here. What the fuck am I talking about? Obviously he had roles before that, but I completely had forgot he was in the Cube. But where I really attached to him was probably Stargate. Oh man, he really has been in a bunch of stuff I didn't know about. See, this is one of those actors I might have to go down the list, right? And I just thought it was really cool that they were in this movie together, kind of, you know, it wasn't pre-fame. I wouldn't call it pre-fame. But I do think it's like really cool when you find an older movie that has a bunch of people that weren't super duper famous at the time that all ended up getting cast in a movie. And one of those is one of my favorites called Ghosts of Mars. It has so many big name actors and big name people in a movie together, and we'll never see that again because at the time they weren't super big actors. They were taking roles to see if they could get out there. And just seeing Jason Statham in one of his first roles, like, man, before he was turned into this one-dimensional, like, specific kind of guy. And you watch his older stuff and you just look at him and you're like, man, he's so fresh. He's so nervous. You can just feel him like doing these roles with like no confidence. But I think it's refreshing because nowadays you just see one aspect of Jason Statham. And I think if you guys haven't seen it, I have a video on Ghosts of Mars. You should really check that out. Fucking amazing movie to me. I will say most people don't like it. I like movies that represent certain qualities. I don't necessarily judge a movie like purely based on popularity, budget, and whatnot. Like, you could have a really good actor in a shitty movie, and sometimes that's all you need to carry the whole movie. You could have really good writing with shitty actors. And, Starship Troopers is one of those. Amazing writing. And when you look at it, now, I'm not saying those actors are shitty, but I'm saying at the time, and even in the interviews, they say, like, yeah, we were like, whatever. I mean, they had a few big name actors in there, don't get me wrong. They had a couple people, Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers had old Jake Busey and Michael Ironside in that movie. But if you look, well, and Denise Richards. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that one. But I'm saying if you look and you like look at the acting, Clancy Brown. Oh, holy shit! They had the guy from Walking Dead in there. They had a lot of good people. They actually had a lot of good people. But I'm saying when you look at the main actors and you look at like the substance of it, people that weren't in the movie for just a short amount of time. Obviously, these guys' names were attached to the movie, but like Neil Patrick Harris back then was not like a huge thing. Most of these people were not a very big deal. Like they weren't front page material like some people watching them every single movie. But I do, but it's so fun to watch those movies where they haven't been developed yet or typecasted or their brains hadn't been filled with like Hollywood dribble, where they were like fresh and they didn't have any idea what their direction of acting was. And you could just kind of see them riffing or improvising or like, that like in their head, they're like, okay, I got to nail this. It's like, you don't really have that with an actor that the more established they get, they show up to set and they say, okay, let's get this done. Let's go. I'm ready to film, blah, blah, blah. Right. It's not like a big deal to them. But I will say The Cube is one that you can watch right now. You can watch it for free. It's on, it's on Tubi. And if you like the video and you want more videos like this, go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave me, a fuck-ridden comment if you want. That's fine too. I'll answer every comment. And I will absolutely see you guys in the next one.